All right, we should be live. Woo! Look at that. We're live. I apologize for a slight delay, and I apologize also for the timing. I decided last minute last night that was in my best interest to just do an evening stream, and I also ended up forgetting my history stuff at home, and of course it's on paper, so I can't just pull it up on my phone. Even if I could, it'd be useless because I can't do that while I'm live streaming, so that's my fun. Oh, golly. I apologize for that, though. We are live, though. We're starting exactly where I promised. If I can get the camera to rotate. Come on. 22nd and Central. Exactly where we left off, and I said I would start next time. We got St. Mary's Cathedral. Was that Hartmann Hall? How do you say that? Chancery? McCancery? I don't know what the proper pronunciation is. I actually don't. Please don't be offended because I'm not a religious person. I'm not the person that goes to church. I'll say it that way. I say God sometimes, so I can't really say I'm not religious, but I don't go to church, okay? Let's see. Let's do some shout outs here. So I saw, man, very early I saw Dalmatian, Joshua, Olga, Horizoid. How are you guys doing? Hey Dalmatian, hey GRM Adventures, hey Parker Taylor, hey DK, hey Mr. Cruise Fever 1. Having a garage sale, eh? That should be fun. Always good to get rid of some stuff and clean it up and in the process benefit people, right? Because you're going to be giving some other stuff to other people that could use it. All right. So, now that we got our craziness out of the way, we're starting right here on West 22nd and Central Ave. Central Avenue is part of Yellowstone and South Greeley Highway and so many other names, as I've discussed in the last two streams. The first place on the list is Underwood, which was originally built in 1956. From my understanding, during the 80s and maybe even original, it was the pop shop. It's kind of similar to Rocket Fizz in Estes Park. More recently, if you go into the street view, you'll see that Bagel Makers was here in 2007 and 2011. This was definitely an alternate location from the Del Range one that is combined with Subway. It was combined with Subway. And I could not find a date for when all these places open and close, but I did see that Underwood Flowers added this section of building on and also made this corner over here on the front more curved instead of rounded. And you can see what I mean in the street view. And then over here we got the St. Mary's Church, which you guys saw in the kind of in the end of the last stream and also at the start of this stream already. How do you say this? The diocese? I cannot say it. It's, but I'm not going to keep trying to say it because I'm just going to butcher it. The Dioceses on the northwest corner was built in 1977, and for the church, unfortunately, I didn't find a date due to it being exempt. There's probably a date somewhere out there, maybe even a date on the building for all I know. So the main church is right there, and then you got the Chancery, or however you pronounce it. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, over there on the right, and that's not the church, like I said in the last stream. Hey, Daniel Norford. I'm guessing you're saying you prefer the 3 p.m.s. Yeah, I switched to 6 p.m. last time because of the sunburn I got from the previous stream. Part of the issue was just that I was exposed so long. I was walking a whole distance at the start of that stream, like before that stream happened, and then the stream also, and then some time after that. So I ended up getting kind of a nasty burn, and it was painful. I'd rather not have the extremely painful ones. If that makes sense. I've had some very painful ones that just hurt like hell, and I don't want to do that again. So starting today, I've already done this. I'm starting to do an hour, half-hour to hour walk in the midday when it's the hottest. So that way I can try and really get my ability to endure sunburn stronger. Hey, Blake's Retail Exploration. So we will hopefully be shifting back to 3 p.m. streams soon. So over here on this side of the road as well as the Starbucks. Let's see, where's my info? It was built in 1955 and apparently it was a former Subway, oddly enough. I could not find exactly if it was for certainty, but I did find one thing that claimed it was, so it might be. I don't know. I don't think it's the same one as the other one that we'll see here in a moment, though, if it was in fact a subway. About 2 blocks down, maybe. Because that one opened around 2010-ish, and that one was not over here before then. So, I don't know. It could be 2 totally different subways, too. Let's see. How do I want to do this? The trees are blocking my view. I looked at the Earth satellite imagery, and there was definitely an older house right around here where the entry to this Jonah Bank parking lot is. The Jonah Bank, this bank was built in 2002, but I found that Jonah Bank actually took over in 2015 with a remodel. It was the first national bank before Jonah Bank. You may recognize Jonah Bank from the Jonah Business Center over on Pershing, which we've done numerous videos and live streams where we talk about it. And we'll cross as soon as the traffic stops, unless I thought she would wait, but she's turning, so it didn't matter. This person's gonna wait. Appreciate people who wait. There you go. So now I can show up the Jonah Bank. Yep, this building definitely was not here, but there is something else over there on that side of the parking lot, closer to that blue building. Let's see. And I'll look at the building on the right here in a second. I think, yeah. So up here, that blue building, by the way, that I mentioned, is Edward Jones. What is this? Investments? Yep, Investments. It's built in 1897, so it's a very old house. Probably had some remodeling done to over the years, but definitely some older school looks to it. Another one of those businesses that takes over a house, right? I could not find any date for when Edward Jones opened here or when this was converted from a house, but still pretty cool. There's an insane amount of history for the downtown area. So like this paper that I have with all the history junk that I'm reading you guys that I've researched, it's way longer than either of the previous 2 streams, even though our route today is much shorter than the previous 2 streams. So I'm not too worried about this taking about an hour or so, give or take maybe 15 minutes. And at the same rate, still being a shorter route is crazy. This building over there is the Emerson building, built in 1929 as Lulu McCormick Junior High, according to Robert English. Houses the Speech and Pathology and Audiology, Wyoming Department of Enterprise Tech Services, Professional Licensing Boards, and a handful of other stuff. Those were businesses on the Google Maps itself, but there probably are other functions in here. Definitely a big office building these days. And then we got the Central building right here, which, let's see, was built in 1954, and I couldn't find too much about it, but more recently Stitches, which has already had their location right there, began using this space for their stuff. I think this was like one of the first places that they had in Wyoming that had identified a case of corona last year. I'll read more chat here in a second after we get across. And so the Stitches Acute Care right here on this side of the street was a former Brewster Miller financial group, and the building was built in 1971. And I found that Stitches opened around 2017, moving out of the Cheyenne Regional Medical Services. Whatever building that is, probably the main hospital building, I'm guessing. They have a few buildings though. And then we got another building over here that I couldn't find much about, but it ended up being the AT&T building. There is a sign on the other side that I remember seeing in older streams that we've done, where you can see the AT&T sign still up. So I'm sure it's still being used by them. Let's see. We'll flip this back around. Yeah, we got a chunk of people in here. How is everyone doing tonight? Hey, Stan's Journeys. Yeah, it's very warm. It was 82 when I started. I think we are supposed to have like a high of 85 today, 85 or so. So it's a pretty warm day. I'm gonna have to turn around and cover a couple more buildings for a minute. Yeah, Tanya got it right. It's 81 here. So when will we go back to Longmont Parker? I will eventually. It's like I said, it's not my priority since I've gone there pretty recently, but I am going to try and hit it up long before Spirit Halloween begins opening locations. So we'll be in good shape for that. We're going to rotate back around and talk about these other two buildings here. Yeah, I see. You guys are going to see what I mean. There's so much history on these places, and all the buildings are really close together. So even though this is a shorter route we're doing, it's still so much history. We'll rotate this around. Glad to hear you're doing good, Blake. Yep, usually opens around August. Mine tend to open a little bit later than the rest. I don't know why. They always tend to open like 2 weeks later than the rest. All right, so we got the St. Mark's Episcopal Church. Is that how you say it? It's built in the 1880s and added to the National Register in 1970, from what I read. And it's definitely got some very retro vibes to it. And then over here on the left, we got the Frontier building, which has housed so many different businesses. It's built in 1937 with a 2-level apartment complex add-on that was built in 1960. Retail on this side has housed a shade of vintage, which is right here on the left, along with Presidential Barber Shop, which moved. I don't know if they moved to Lincolnway or if they moved to one other location first, but they are at Lincolnway today. We got, what's this? Schraff's Place. I found I guess there's a place called Detail Studio and a place called It's Alive. So that's what I could see on the map. So from the street view. So we got Napolis right here. What was it before? It was the Sweet 1901 Bistro before. And they have a whole bunch of outdoor dining as well. I'll get a different perspective after we cross the street here, which is 19th, West 19th. All right, let's see. So here's a different perspective of the Frontier building, so you can see all the apartment complex above, and I guess they expanded on somewhere over on this side as well, on the right. Let's see, what else do we got? We got the Cheyenne Bank over here, which I found was built in 1970, and it was remodeled around 2015. In fact, in 2015, based on what I found. I remember it having a totally different facade to it than what it does today. But I think they still kind of kept some of the vibes. It's just not the same outside facade that you can see. You got one of the entries there, it looks like. Parking lot over there on the right. Let's see. Over there we got the First United Methodist Church. Couldn't find a build date, but it appears to date back to 1983, and I found a date of 1890 on Wikipedia, so however reliable that data is, who knows. Probably more accurate than anything I could guess. And then we got this building over here that was built in 1970 and remodeled apparently in 2015, right? No, sorry, built in 1961, and no idea if it remodeled, but today it's Pete's Builders. I saw them putting up the sign on this place when they were opening up at this building. And there's the subway I was talking about. The subway's unique. It was built in 1954 as a filling station. You can see in 2007 that was a former gas station. What else? I'll read the chat here in a minute. So Subway, I found that Subway opened between 2007 and 2011 when they did change the features. Those windows over there had garages. There's not a lot left of the gas station, filling station vibes, but you can definitely see one of the old school lights still standing over there, as well as one over there. Here's an alternate perspective of United Methodist Church, First United Methodist Church. Very retro looking indeed. And now we're at 18th Street, and the light's changing on us, so we'll just wait for a minute, and I'll re-chat. Hey, Christian. Hey, TYDP. There is an abandoned Citgo. I'm still trying to find when it closed. Oof. It's all right. So we got a couple seconds here, so I'm going to talk about the history here. So we got Central Plaza Hotel over here on the left, built in 1964, and I know there's been a couple different cafes, including Tasty Bones, in this building. I'm going to see if I can do more research and cover it on a future 18th Street stream. I'll probably do streams on many of these downtown streets because there's a lot of retail on both. Yeah, definitely, exactly. Where were the gas pumps originally located at? So there was an overhang from about where that sign is right here. That's, right, the main facade. There's an overhang right there that had all the filling stations there. You can see the pumps. And then there is actual garage doors on those windows all the way down. Let's see, what else do we got? We got this building here. We got so many buildings. So this building that is right here on the corner was built in 1954. I remember it as Yoka Music / Music Depot, but today it's YO Music, and they also have Olympus Games and Comics in here. I guess Creation Highway, kind of an apparel kind of shop, was here. And apparently that moved it into the Frontier Mall, at least according to a blimp on the Google Maps, and at least from what I recall, it's in one of those places in the middle of the hall as you walk down. Got the Cheyenne Lodge 660. You'll remember the neon BROE sign we saw in previous streams in Series 1. I'll try and take a look at that here shortly. Coming up on West 17th Street. R.W. Baker Wealth Management Group. So that is still here. And I did have a date for that. Built in 1910. And this is a former Bench Home Mortgage Parsons and Associates. So you can see the R.W. Baker signs. So I couldn't find much about the BROE building for when it was built, but it's associated with the Elks Lodge. I heard someone honk earlier, and I don't know if it's someone driving by just honking for the fun of it or honking because they actually recognize me. So we got the 17th and Central Executive Suites over here on the left. Let's see, my paper is upside down. That was built in 1924, former ERA Real Estate and Downtown Suites. They rebranded it to the 17th and Central. And we do got Ruby Juice in there. I believe that's a local place, and I have tried it, and it's pretty good, I must say. It's pretty good. I think we're gonna do this retail on this side first, and then we'll go back on the other side, because there's so much to cover, man. And then we'll walk back and look at chat and stuff. So you may notice this Lincoln Theater here. This was originally a retro theater before screens existed. They put, I think, 2 screens or maybe 3 screens in here. I think it's 2 screens. I remember going to it when it had the screens, and then it closed, what? Let me look at my date. So it was built in 1928 as first sit-in theater from what I read in Cheyenne with the screens, remodeled in 1950 with the 2 screens, and also part of the Alternative Arts Project, which runs the place today as its retro self, as kind of having that auditorium vibe, no screens. Over there we got another building that was, what? Built in 1950, Grandpa's Pizza, originally opened under Joe Mandello in 2008, called Downtown Pizzeria. Got bought out in 2012 and sold in 2016 again. It closed in late 2020, but very recently it reopened, and it's right there on the corner. Sorry for the bad camera angle. And then we also got Niemann and Sons Music, which, as far as I know, they were located over on Lincolnway, over in the Cheyenne Plaza, and it definitely is not there anymore. So, pretty sure they were. Pretty sure. And then we got the Bell Building / the Grier Furniture Building. Let's see, where did I write this down? So this was built in 1913 and 1911, around that time. The right half is a race school today. That was the Los Abuelos Mexican as well, and I guess it's supposed to be a DeLinger's restaurant, but it never ended up happening, and today it's just the race school, which is kind of just a different school. I guess it's sort of college, sort of everything. It's a local place. It's newer. It is newer. I know one of my good buddies actually ended up going here to work. Let's see. One of my personal buddies. Then we'll go over here. So this was also Grier furniture. It seemed like they occupied this whole space, but I guess this part was mainly just a hotel, and Grier furniture, obviously nothing else. And today it's for sale and boarded up. Got the Plains Hotel over here that's still open today, and it was built in 1911. Woo, that sun is bright. I've tried the downtown pizzeria place right here actually before. I've had it a few times, and they do have some good pizza for it being more of a local place. They have some pretty big slices too. I remember that slices were, you could get slices like a 20-inch pie from Domino's or something, so you could get a good amount. And over here on the left, walking back towards, what is this, 17th, I think, we got the Deming building, which on the lower floor currently houses the Wyoming lottery. Where's my date here? It's built in 1911. It's former Grubb and Ellis, based on Google Maps, and apparently it was the Cheyenne Business College around the 1920s. So, another little school area. Not really little, is it? But still, another school, right? And let's see, where's my info for this one? I totally forgot about Wells Fargo. Oh well, we'll cover it in a future stream. Here it is. So this building right here is more of this red color. It was built in 1900. It's the former, I know in Google Maps, and I remember this from my own life as well. It's the former Grandma's Attic, Crazy Haze, Donna's Consignment Boutique. Apparently Dunleavy's opened in 2018, and it's a local place that teaches kids how to do instruments. Kids and teens and pretty much anyone in that age range, how to play different instruments, from strings all the way to, I think they even will do some of the horn instruments like trumpet, etc. All right, now we can read chat. I apologize for not reading chat for a minute, but there is a lot to cover there. So now you guys probably see what I mean. There's so much to cover. Let's see. Wow, so much I missed. What gas station was at the subway? I do not know which one took over, or which gas station it was. I just know it was a gas station, and it was a filling station originally, based on what I was able to read. Walmart and Ken Pratt Longmont has a vet. That's different. I agree, Jack. That is a super cool theater. There's some cool photos of it when it was originally open too, like that's the screen theater I mentioned. Let's see, I'll answer that question in a minute. I love the hole in the wall pizza shops, yeah. We're gonna cross this way and then because we're gonna go over the viaduct. There we go. $14 per hour for the desk person at the Plains Hotel. So there you go. Get a job at Plains Hotel, I guess. I don't know how that job would be. We're gonna come over here for a minute and wait for the light to change. You can see one of their vans here. I'll rotate this around for a minute. Yeah, I definitely agree though. It's a cool area too. Hey Toads. Man, so many comments I've missed. Hey Dakota. I'm making a new video, but I don't know what to think about my new outro. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I think we're caught up on chat. Someone asked Was it Blake? What was that? Hold on. There's so many Colorado plates. Yeah, I believe it. Jesus, I missed so much. All right, so I think Blake was asking how do I find closing dates, and honestly, it's just a matter of doing Google. A lot of times you can find stuff on Google. Not always. Sometimes there's stuff that only I knew. But all right, now we'll finally get to go across the viaduct, and we'll cover the other part of Central, which has even more retail on it. The amount of info on some of these places is insane. Like, we've already been going a half an hour, and we've only gone about a half a mile. That's why I say there's just so much to cover. I'm not complaining. It's good that there's a lot out there. You know, it makes it easier for, at least in my opinion, which should in theory make it easier for people who are interested in the history of these places to be able to find it. Just so you know, we crossed Lincolnway and we're going to go over the viaduct. Got the Cheyenne Depot here, Depot Plaza. I'll have to do more research on this and cover in a future stream, maybe when we do Lincolnway or 15th. Most of the streets in that go through the main downtown area, I think I'm going to cover. But I think it actually does definitely make it easier to find info to some degree. I mean, at the very least, maybe you come across the stream by accident, and then you're like, oh wow, I want to learn more about all these places. And then that's kind of how it goes, for at least for people who are interested in learning all the places. And for us, it's perfect because it has to do with retail. All these are retail themed places. So yeah, the hotel there is really retro. In fact, you can see a retro sign up there. I didn't notice this before, but there is a retro plane sign up there. And it's crazy to think that Grier Furniture used to be there. That was some sort of local furniture place too. It was there forever, apparently. Man, the downtown streams are going to be interesting with how much just in that time period I had to cover. So over here we got the Accomplice Beer Company and the Good Egg that are in the Depot Plaza, which again, I'm just going to have to wait and do more research on them for a future stream. But I know that the Good Egg has to do with one of the places we're going to be seeing in today's stream further down the road. I'll zoom into the sign so you can see what I'm seeing. Sun is a little bit bright, but it's later evening, so the sun should be a little less intense. So hopefully I won't get burnt to the point where I get home and I feel like I'm burning. Because I am. Oh man. I gotta love the summer sun. It's been really hot lately, a lot hotter now than it generally is. So it actually really dumped yesterday. Apparently the rainstorm actually went viral. It did a lot of hailing and just heavy rain nonstop for a good couple hours. It was a crazy storm. Not as bad as some I've experienced, but definitely one of the worst ones. Worser, not as good. I don't know the proper term here. And I probably am. Well, I guess I can't be any surprise. I'm not in school these days. I don't have English class. I don't have something to kind of keep me on track with my English. So this is kind of the weird spot that I was talking about in the last live stream, where Central kind of turns into South Greeley, but it still kind of continues. So we're technically still on Central, but when we get across this viaduct, it turns into South Greeley Highway. But we're going to be taking a right because Central Avenue continues as kind of a frontage road almost. It's crazy to me how they set this up, but it's interesting. It spices it up. I guess it works because it gives the road that goes all the way through town, north and south. I'm still debating on if we do Warren Avenue first or if we go on South Greeley first for one of the next couple of streams. Still debating on that. All right, let me read some more chat. I think I said hello to Dakota, right? $14 is what McDonald's pay in my area in upstate New York. I think mine around here maybe do 12. Maybe do 12. I haven't checked in a while. I guess it's understandable. I'm not intentionally trying to I don't want to go into that. I don't want to get to that topic. I don't know. I don't research all the job rates, but I think it's around 12 or so. Maybe it is 14. Like I said, I can't keep up with it. It's hard to keep up with everything. I try to keep up with as much as I can, but there's a point where you just can't keep up with all of it. That's just how it is. It's part of the reason why I'm putting all this stuff on paper. And see, that's the whole thing. I have to print it out on my paper, write it down. I've been printing it out so it's easier for me to read and all that good stuff. Got a whole area here with all the trains. Union Pacific over there. That's the whole thing that I have to print out, and I was thinking I need to print this out, but I was grabbing my water, and I was like, okay, I think I got everything. I left, get all the way out to the start point, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't grab the paper, so now I gotta go home, print it, cut it up, put it in my pocket. Yeah. If I had a second phone, it would actually be helpful in this case, not gonna lie, because then I would have the phone in my hand. I don't gotta worry about going back home and grabbing it necessarily, but not the situation I'm in, and not necessarily the most optimal one right now. So I'm having to print it, and that's the way it is. Let's see. I thought Houston had endless recycled retail. Cheyenne takes the cake. Yeah. See, there's so much recycled retail in every city. You just gotta look for it. Sometimes it can be hidden in some very peculiar spots, but it's out there. Some cities have more, some cities definitely have less, but especially when you get into the downtown areas and malls, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of that. There's so many places in my mall that, man, if we'd literally be there all day, I think, if we were to try and do a stream like that. Assuming we wouldn't get kicked out, which I have no idea how they are with the, I have a little bit of idea, but not that much idea with how they are with filming, so. Yeah. Let's see. I'm back. I was at the A&W and Berthoud. There you go. I don't know if I've been to that A&W or not. I don't know. I forget where Berthoud is exactly. I actually do. It's pretty cool how many there are of A&Ws in Colorado. Like, most of them are combined with a KFC or Taco Bell or Pizza Hut, one of those. But they're still there, which is super cool. There's still some in Wyoming as well. It's just not as common as maybe 3 decades ago or something like that. Before my time. I don't think I'm going to mess with too much with this building over here on the right. So Central Avenue is literally right there. So it continues right here on the right. Like I said, really weird. There's a building over here that I'm going to kind of take a look at, and then I'm going to move on, because I could not find any history about it. Couldn't find out what it was today or what it is today. There's just nothing available about it. I can only assume maybe it's some sort of factory building. Maybe the city owns it. I don't really know. It's obviously in use, but there's literally nothing that I could find about it in a somewhat short amount of time yesterday. So that's where we're at. But there's still more retail over here on the right before we even get to the next stoplight up here that we're going to be covering. So it's going to be good. We'll walk back this way and kind of give a view of the building real quick. Any damage in town? Not that I know of, but there is definitely some major flooding. King FM shared some good photos of the flood just on an article yesterday, and I saw on their Facebook as well. As far as I know, there might have been damage out south of town, but for us, it's mainly kind of pea-sized, maybe a few marbles here and there. The worst thing I heard happening was up in Ranchettes. There definitely was some plant damage, like if people who planted plants, they got torn up a little bit. So, that was a crazy storm. It's been a very long time since I've seen the roads get flooded all the way out to the median. Usually it's only out to maybe the white line on your average flat road that's kind of humped. It was all the way out to the yellow line yesterday, which was crazy. Should we cut? I think we'll cut. So we got 9th Street up there. We'll be crossing that here shortly. We're going to go back this way just long enough for you to see this building, and then we'll get the rest of the retail on Central. There's a couple of other places kind of behind Central that we'll cover, because I don't foresee myself doing a stream on most of these streets. Maybe 9th, maybe 5th, probably not any of the others. There's just not enough retail to make it arguable to do a stream. You know, maybe that's something I could do eventually, is residential area streams, but there's definitely going to be a lot less to cover, you know. Maybe a build date, maybe a slight idea of dates. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're not that far yet. We still got the whole Series 2 to figure it out, so yeah, you can see they got no trespassing signs. So I don't know what this building is. I'm going to get them all the way over here with the sun here so you can see it. Get all those signs so that way you can see it better. We got West 11th Street over here. And as you can see, Central literally ends, but you can kind of see how it continues on the other side of the viaduct. It's very weird how they set this up. You would kind of think they would do something more like a railroad crossing, but then they can't really do it with the depot plaza and everything. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention that this used to be totally different. This actually used to kind of ramp off in front of the depot plaza that we saw earlier. And also off to the right from this position where we're at. It didn't used to go straight ahead. So they've changed it over time. It's not its original self. Maybe I'll try to see if I can research that more for the Warren Avenue stream, because Warren Avenue has to do with it too. So here's the view of that building. Like I said, clearly in use, but I have no idea what's here. No idea. And when you go on the property, it says you can't even click it to see the date. Like, it literally won't click, so it's kind of a pain in the butt, but whatever. There's a van here with Sprint on it, so maybe it's some sort of Sprint center. Can you see that? We got a Sprint logo there on that van, so maybe it's something to do with Sprint and T-Mobile. I don't see a cell phone tower over here. I guess they wouldn't necessarily have it in a distribution center, but I don't know. I don't do enough research on that. We'll continue back down this way. We got West 10th Street right here that we're coming up on. Hey, Adoring Exploring. Let's see. Do you have a Target in Cheyenne? Yeah, we do, as Tanyan said. Thank you, Tanyan. Thank you, Parker, too. I could do a history video of the Mall of America. It would take literally days. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, originally when I was thinking about doing, I won't identify which mall, but one of the mall videos, I was like, man, I wanted to show every little thing. I want to talk about every little thing, but if I talk about every single tenant, we're going to run out of time. Like, we'll not even be halfway through, and it'll already be, maybe 10 tenants, right? It won't be the whole thing just because there's so many things to cover. It would be cool to do like individual videos on each place, especially if we can like get inside of some of them, maybe do some sort of video for them. I think that would be a cool way to go. Yeah, Optopolis exposed ideas that he's thinking about. I don't care. It's a live stream. We're just having a good time. Pole Mountain Electric, quality electric work. So this building, let me look at my address, hold on. My paper. Let's see, where are we at? I need to flip this paper. Goodness gracious. Can you see this crap? Look at this. Look at this. This is 3 slots. Like yesterday it was 2 slots, and they were shorter and narrower in size. It's so much more in shorter distance. All right, so let's see. All right, so Pole Mountain Electric building was built in 1961. This building here, along with that part, I guess is the same building. If I can get my paper to cooperate. It was built in 1929. Got the Cheyenne Biker Church right here on the right, and then we also got Needs Inc., which is kind of a place that does thrift store and also helps people in general. I know they do stuff like feed the homeless and all that, so they have a really good goal. And I want to say they're local. I want to say they are. Pretty sure they are. And then we got West 9th Street. All right, here you go. This is one of the first signs for South Greeley Highway. Are you ready for this? So this is actually technically I-180, but it's also South Greeley Highway and Highway, was it 36? It's crazy how many things there are. Got the Keg and Corks bar on the right, which was built in 1979. I have no idea if it's original, but judging by this sign, it very well might be. So yeah, you can see that if the quality is decent, you can see that this is Central Avenue. If it's not, then I'm sorry. You can see it in Google Street View if you really want to look. So yep, we got Warren Avenue and South Greeley Highway to the left, and we're headed down Central. Speed limit 30 on this road. A little bit quick in my opinion with pedestrian traffic, but fair enough. What's next? We got the Las Rosas Carniceria y Market. This building on the right, which is apparently a ranch home. When was it built? It was built in 1961, and the store right here was built in, what? Where is it? 1947, sorry. I think they got another location further out south as well. I'm pretty sure they do. Out south, actually on South Greeley. And then we got a U-Haul place over here that took over a former Sinclair gas station. It was built in 1950. I could not find any dates for it, but it's been here for a very long time. You can see it. The U-Haul was here in 2007. They obviously have a bunch of trucks, and they also have a little store inside for all the boxing and stuff like that you might need. Not much remains of the Sinclair. The signs have kind of disappeared over time, whether they got broken or just taken down, but that's the way it is. I think I'll wait to go up on that bridge until the South Greeley stream, maybe. Or should I cover it today? I don't know. I think I changed my plan a little bit so that way I don't overlap so much. So I think we might go up on it actually. You can see that they had garages here. Coming up on B&B Appliance TV, which has been here as long as I know. I don't know exactly when they opened, but the building itself was built in 1929, so it's another really old building that's still going strong today. Maybe we'll go up the bridge and look over South Greeley Highway. I think we will, because I don't plan to overlap. Initially, I was planning to, but it doesn't make sense because there's really no retail on South Greeley Highway. Like, it's literally just the perspective, so kind of unnecessary. I'll read chat as we get up the hill here. I know it was under construction last time, probably for repairs, but looks like they've fixed it and are all done now, so now we can see what it looks like. That was in Series 1, to clarify. How do you like summer so far? I'm overall pretty good. A little warm for my liking at this time of the year, but I'm not going to complain. Could use a little more rain, but other than that, pretty good, I'd say. So we'll talk about all the places over here soon. We got the Lariat Motel from up here. If the camera will focus. We'll talk about that when we get down there. Got Anong's Thai cuisine right here. Another perspective of B&B Appliance and U-Haul from up here as well. Let's see if I can get the light to focus down there for a minute. I'll read more chat here in a second. Let's see. Union Pacific Train Yard, yep. Man, I am behind on comments, wow. Going out of town to Corpus Christi, Texas. That should be fun. I really like your channel. I appreciate that, Dakota. Hey, Sheila, how are you doing? So this is the bridge that connects Warren Avenue and Central Avenue together for pedestrians. We're not going to go all the way to Warren, but because I don't plan to come back here, we'll go ahead and take a look over South Greeley Highway. So we'll be kind of going out that way to finish up the stream. Still got plenty of time, so we'll be in good shape. And we got the viaduct out there where we came from. In American Truck Simulator, I know not everyone's going to be interested in this, but American Truck Simulator, the screenshot that I've seen shows a little bit different. Central's kind of more straight on, and then Warren Avenue curves off, but it's still pretty dang close. Like, they even got the tower there. Like, they're doing such a good job on that game, on that part of the game. Like, all of the details, like, they've really gotten so much better with all the little details. It's pretty crazy. Hey, Swayze, how are you doing? Sorry if I haven't been here for a while. That's all right. I know we are doing later streams this week. Yeah. As I said earlier in the stream, I am trying to get out in the sun earlier in the day when it's super hot and got the harshest sun. So that way I can kind of adjust my skin, hopefully, and be able to go back to the 3 p.m.s. 6 p.m.s aren't too bad. It is nice to go in the evening when it's cooler, but since I changed my plan for now on the progression of time idea, I'm going to probably just see about doing that. Trying to get back to the 3 p.m. streams. Not gonna lie, that's one thing I liked about the last stream. It's cloudy and a slight breeze, but it's still warm, so it's just perfect. It's perfect for temperature. We'll have to go back up on that bridge for Warren too, I think. I think it would be good to get that perspective as well. But we're gonna stick with Central for today, so. Let's see, where are we at? So we got the Anong's Thai Cuisine over here on the right. That building was built in 1928. I remember it being Los Amigos Mexican, which based on the Google Street View, it looks like it closed in late 2011. Anong's opened in 2013 and it's been going strong here since. I've heard it's pretty good. I've only heard good things, so sometime I definitely need to try it. And then we got the Lariat Motel, which is now abandoned. Based on what I read, it was opened in 1937 and closed likely as a result of the shooting in May of 2020. There's a shooting here, I guess, I don't think anyone died, but someone did get injured and had to be taken to the hospital. And as far as I could tell, it seems to have closed because of that, which is interesting considering that something happened at the Pizza Ranch. Oh crap, I just ruined that. But Pizza Ranch in Loveland had a shooting as well, but that didn't cause them to close, so. Or not a shooting, they had a knife thing, and it was something different. It's something a little different. Some dude went in with a knife, and I guess the police had to go knock him down or something. But they stayed open, so I don't know why that would stop these guys from being open, unless maybe the motel had some sort of connection with it, but I don't know. I'd hope not. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know the whole story, honestly, and there's not a lot about it, so I can only assume that the crime is the reason, but I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get behind the tree here. Got a retro motel sign up there. They completely fenced it off, so I definitely don't foresee myself doing a video. And even if it wasn't fenced off, all the windows are boarded up, so there's not really a point of doing a video. Maybe photos, right? Maybe the stream, which we're gonna kind of walk around here a little bit, but not really worth it for much else. So this is the street that I was talking about, where we're gonna kind of go just a little bit farther, just because there is a little bit of retail on this street. Yeah, completely fenced off and boarded up. Got CarQuest there. We'll talk about that building in a minute. All right, this is the place that I talked about that had connection to Good Egg. This building right here. Let me find my date. Jesus, you can see the mud where it was flooded yesterday. You can see where all the mud piled up because of the floods. So this was the Casa restaurant, which was built in 1977. Apparently, originally it was Casa de Garcia, but in later days is known as Casa de Trujillo. It turned into Ike's Bar and Grill. It's supposed to be, and I know it was kind of in the process of that last time that we did a stream out here. I'm not sure how far they are on that or if that's still what they're doing, but they do got that construction vehicle, so maybe it is. Maybe it is. Got Capitol Avenue. And right here on the right, we got Cheyenne Electric, which I'd imagine is some sort of local place. The building was built in 1979, but I couldn't find much more than that. Unknown building on West 11th. I don't remember which building that is. We're on West 6th Street, so that name is, or that is confusing. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong part, that's why. We got the Restoration Fellowship over here, another church. This one was built in 1976. It was not always Restoration Fellowship. If you go back to 2007, you can see like right here, they had in one of those recycle centers. The recycling center signs were still up, even though the recycle bins were long gone and nowhere to be seen. And it's about that time that they quit doing that. I don't know why. They had them everywhere, at almost all the stores, the Walmart, the Kmart. They had them at Lowe's. They had them everywhere. But not anymore. You can't find them anywhere. You can only find little tiny remnants. Got Shoal Industries right here. Wyco Wind and Solar. And this building was built, a couple years ago? In 2019. I remember them building it too. And then we got CarQuest Auto Parts, which for those of you that don't know, that is part of Advanced Auto Parts these days. The building was built in 1972 and still goes strong today. I think we made one stop here for a part one time. One time recently that I can remember. Had to get a different windshield wiper blade. And then we got another bar over here, the Lamp Lounge, which was built in 1964, and I guess it might have been original. I don't know. Again, it's another one of those that can't find a lot online, unfortunately. And then we're finally back onto Central Avenue. That's only about a block off from Central. Again, I don't foresee myself doing a stream on West 6th Street because that's literally it. Like what we just saw for retail, that's literally it on this part of 6th. So I don't foresee myself coming out here again for a stream for a while. At least not on that road. You can see the Lamp Lounge sign on the right. Let's see. Gotta catch up on chat. Looks like a roller coaster. That must have been the bridge, right? We'll go over here out into the road. There's lots of traffic here. Hey, oh, what? I don't know what I was saying there. I love a Nong soup. That's cool. Rice soup. Yeah, see, I've only heard good things about it. I appreciate that, Stanton Sternies. Yeah, I know. That's crazy, isn't it? All right, is there O'Reilly Auto Parts? There's several O'Reillys here in Cheyenne. They're just not on this route. Sinclair gas station. Holy crap, why does U-Haul take over everything? Sometimes I do get annoyed at how much they take over. It's nice to not see things sit vacant, but there are some things that it's like, okay, come on. Something better could have been put there. But you know what? If it's occupied rather than sitting and decaying, that's better than nothing. I can't hate on U-Haul at the end of the day. They do have a good idea in mind for sure. And they definitely still go strong today, but either way. We got a Family Dollar right here. That's the most recent one that was built here in Cheyenne. We had 3 locations. I think it's the original one that closed, and the other one is still open, and this one is too. This was the place of the In-N-Out here in Cheyenne, not the In-N-Out that you all know, a different In-N-Out that got rebranded to Cruisin Thru. It was a local place that had apparently really good burgers. They were more of a walk-up / drive-through thing. You can see on Street View when the Cruisin Thru was still here that they had cars going up to the building to order their food. Let's see, let me look at my dates. The Family Dollar was fortunately built in 2013 after it closed. And the In-N-Out was apparently here since 1953. And like I was saying with In-N-Out, they had to rebrand. They had to rebrand because of the California chain that we all know as In-N-Out Burger that's slowly making their way up here. Pretty crazy to think that this used to be a dirt lot with a real little tiny building right in the center. Maybe about where those cars are parked, in fact. Maybe right about there. Pretty crazy. go around this guy because he's trying to turn, I think. So this is West 5th Street where we are at now. Right here we got a Liberty Tax place that was built in 1957. From what I could tell, it was a former gas station. They left the building, I guess, or maybe rebranded into a different business that I didn't write down. Oh, wait, yeah, I did. Fast Tax. They rebranded into Fast Tax, or maybe they closed and got replaced. I don't know. I couldn't find info about it. That closed maybe 2011 or so. I saw the for sale signs in the street view. And we got a car here. Are they going to wait? All right, thanks. Appreciate people who wait. They technically have to because of the street, but you know, there's traffic there already, but yeah, there is going to pull up. I appreciate that. But I noticed it was for sale in 2011, but then Liberty Tax came back to this location, which is crazy. Crazy to me. Got a bus stop right here, just chilling. Still think, as far as I know, the buses still aren't going for the normal routes, only the curb to curb for the 50 and plus, 50 and older. Right here we got the donut shop, which was, this building was built in 1940 and it's a former Populous convenience store. Probably, maybe something else was here originally, I don't know, probably. But the donut shop is kind of interesting because it moved from the Daylight Donuts / Chinese Express that we saw in the last live stream. Unfortunately, for some reason I didn't write all the info down again, but I did talk about it back then. They created the donut shop that opened in 2018. I think they opened it right here in 2018. There seemed to be a brief period where they, I'll turn this around again for a minute. There seemed to be a brief period where the donut shop was located out there on Central and what was it, like 5th, around Lions Park area, but as far as I can tell, most of their life is right out here at this pink building, which has been repainted as pink. It didn't used to be pink, with donuts. It's a super cool place and someplace I definitely need to try that's local. Pretty cool to see. And then we got the Diamond Horseshoe Cafe. That's another retro building that is local also. The building was built in 1955 and the cafe opened in the 1980s from what I read. So pretty old business. It's still going strong today even though it's not open right now. I think they're open earlier in the day, kind of like the Pie Lady was. And then we got a building right here that was built in 1953. In the street view you can see that was L&W Water Truck Services LLC. But now I have no idea what it is. Private property and office hours are listed on it, but I don't see anything else, so I don't know exactly what it is today. Got West 4th Street right here, which is a dirt road with a bunch of trailer homes on it, probably in the county area. The way the line works with county to city property is really weird. It's very jagged. And this is probably a spot that ends up landing in the county, seeing that the road still isn't paved. And then we got a transmission place here that couldn't find much about it, but was built in 1956. And we got more trailer homes over here. And we got a little filled area where I'll be able to catch up on chat again. Got the Central Mobility Home Community right here on the right. Yep, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I hear that so much working for O'Reilly. I think there is one across the viaduct, just across it by Jimmy John's.
What's the viaduct?
Well, the Warren and Central. So you see the road right here, the highway?
Yeah.
You take a left on it, go over the viaduct, and then the place will be right on the left side, right next to Jimmy John's, just across the street from Carl's Jr.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Have a good day. So that was the guy that we saw at the Family Dollar, I think. Pretty sure. That was funny, but not funny too. I don't mind helping people out. Carl's Jr. completely pulled out of the Houston area. Oof. Out this way, we mainly got Carl's Jr., but we do got a couple Hardee's as well. I know a couple of Carl's Jr.'s have closed in Colorado. One of them being in Longmont, but the place already got replaced before I could film it, so. The one here, the Carl's Jr. that I just mentioned to him, that used to be a Hardee's, and that before Hardee's, it was a gas station. It was a Chevron. Believe it or not, there's photos of it too. It's cool. That'll be for a different stream. I'll have to talk about it more in the Warren stream. Warren Avenue would be good to cover for that. So we got Deming Drive right here that goes under this bridge and also out this way. We're gonna wait to cross because I see that car, and I might have been able to beat it, but not now. They're doing some construction on this bridge, I've noticed. You can see that the sidewalk's closed. They've been doing a lot of work on it for a while. This bridge is another reason I'm thinking of just starting out here on the other side of I-25 for the South Greeley Highway stream. There's no sidewalk up there, so it's not really safe, and with the construction, that just makes it worse. It's not as bad as the one in Thornton. It's not as bad as that bridge that we saw by Sears Grand on Highway 7, but it's still a little bit rough, a little bit sketchy if you're on foot. The good thing is that unlike Thornton, they actually put a sidewalk that goes up by down this road right here up to the main road again, so it's not like you're forced into it. So this is technically no outlet, but for pedestrians, not so much. We got the sidewalk over here on the left. We got one more building over here on the right that is what? Let me pull out my my paper. Struggling here. So the Cheyenne-Laramie County Health Department, Cheyenne/Laramie County. That I have no idea exactly when it opened here or if it's original or what, but I do know that it was built in 1968. It's in kind of a cool building. We'll take a little bit better look at it here in 1 second. Here we go. Maybe we'll run up there real quick for the heck of it, so you can kind of see the front area right there. Maybe we'll walk up the edge there real quick before we go up to South Greeley Highway. No cars behind me. We're going to go ahead and go over here. He said cell phone repair place, by the way, and the only one that I can think of is the one that moved recently right next to Jimmy John's. They used to be a little bit different location, I think over on Logan, and they moved, so I'm betting that's probably the one. I don't know if they're open right now or not too, so hopefully he figures it out. Glad to be of service though. I'll go up here so that way you can see the sign in the building a little bit better. Let's see, let me read the chat again. Is there a difference between Carl's Jr. and Hardee's other than names? That I know of, not really. I guess some locations might have a few minor differences in products they sell, but not too much. You can literally see Family Dollar from right here. That's a perfect shot. In the case that I wanted to do a family video or Family Dollars video here, I definitely should get a cool shot from here. It's a side view, but still cool. Still cool. So you can see the Cheyenne-Laramie County Health Department right there, Central Avenue, and they have all their different things that they do. And you can see the building right here with the main entry over there. I'll zoom out now. There we go, that's perfect. The one time YouTube actually zooms out to the way I want. Sometimes it just will flick. If I zoom in, it's like I clicked a button, but other times I'll do it like I just did and it actually zooms in correctly, like a normal camera. Always fun stuff. We got a keep it clean breeze through sign right there for an advertisement. And we got one of the hotels over there, the Spring Hill Suites, that I don't know if I'll put it in this next stream or not. I might. It's another stream that's a little bit less distance. Maybe I will. We'll see. I'll think about it. I think it would be interesting to cover the history of those hotels because, again, well, then again, we might do a stream on that road, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We have Taco Bueno again in the Houston area. There is a Taco Bueno in Katy, Texas. That's cool. I know they were struggling. I know Wally filmed like 2 or 3 of them that were abandoned. Like 2 of them he got inside of, for sure. Definitely were 2. Which was crazy to me. Crazy coincidences. True Vine Church, Community Church Pantry. I guess on this other little road right here. A little tiny slip road. I don't know exactly where it goes, honestly. I meant to look, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I see a little cell tower over there. Unless that's just for the signage right there. Might be for the sign. But you can see the signage right here that I just talked about. Welcome to the True Vine Community Church. So I guess that's their parking lot entry. TVCC. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let me get up here. I think I might go, I don't know, should I cross the street or should I stop at the light? I don't know. I think it would make more sense to stop at the street for the way I have this planned. Going out to Corpus Christi, Texas soon. That's cool. Go to Whataburger Field to see the Corpus Christi. He's talking to them. That's another one that's coming out this way now. I heard that Whataburger is supposed to be opening a location in like Colorado Springs, I think, out in that area. That's another chain that's expanding like crazy that I haven't ever tried, but I honestly kind of would be interested in trying it at some point. I know it's the lights here tend to not be very pedestrian friendly. Did it change? It actually changed this time. With my luck, it usually doesn't change, but it always ends up changing automatically when I'm streaming. But when I'm not streaming is when it doesn't change automatically like that. I don't hardly bother with the buttons here in town because half the time it actually doesn't change anything. Like you'll have to wait a whole light setting for it to change when you had plenty of time to cross before the light would have changed anyway. It's a little bit redundant. And guess what? In another stream, one of the next 2 streams, we're going to be seeing another subway. The amount of subways here is just crazy to me. There's so many subways here in town. There's so many, and there's, we've already seen 2 right on this road, and a third just 2 places over, right? 1 place over, 2 places over out on Carlson from this road. So they're everywhere. And that's not counting the ones that occur in businesses, which I guess there isn't any on South Greeley Highway itself, but we do got the westbound on-ramps right here for I-80, which is where we are kind of wrapping up. So you really have 2 choices at this point. If you are watching the live stream playlist at some day in the future, you can watch the Warren Avenue stream that we'll eventually do where we go down there on that side of the highway and talk about that retail, or you can watch the South Greeley Highway live stream. As for you guys who are watching live, I have no idea which one will come first. I'm still debating. I'm leaning towards Warren, but I don't know yet. You'll know soon enough. We'll start somewhere right around here, and I'll let you guys know on the community tab and all that. We'll be doing a video on Sunday. We'll be doing a video on Sunday, though, at 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time as usual. And maybe next week we can get back into the 3 o'clock streams. Subway's like Starbucks. They like to eat fresh, yeah. The Subway's like Starbucks. Here in Houston area, they aren't even a mile apart from each other. Yeah, I know. A lot of places, that's how they are. Perhaps the difference is I think Subway is a lot more franchised to where it's a lot more of the families that own them rather than being a corporation thing, but then again, I might be wrong. Maybe Starbucks is mostly that way too. I know they do franchise locations, so I'm not sure. A lot of Subways are very much family owned, even though it's a huge corporation, right? So, do you know that the Mall of Mainland, talking to Christian. Subway is 100% franchised. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't 100% certain because I haven't done that part of the research, but the Subway is interesting too because they got new signage on the street, but they still got the older signage on the building. I'll zoom in on it. You can see it for yourself. Isn't that different? And the other Subway was kind of like that too, wasn't it? Well, I think for a brief period it was. Maybe not today, but I think for a brief period it was. Got Burger King over there as well that we'll be talking about in a future stream. I need to figure out what was it that Sinclair over there. It wasn't originally Sinclair. There's another business. They had locations all over Cheyenne and Wyoming and Colorado, but I've forgotten the name of it, so I'll have to do the research on that again. Subway. All right. How about that? I wasn't too far off. It's an hour and 11 right now. I said give or take 15 minutes on an hour. So, I was about right. About right. Yeah, you can see right there actually. Interstate 180 / Central Avenue / Highway 85. That's what this road is right here that we're standing on right now that divides Central and Warren and eventually connects up to them. Such a unique situation. And you probably hear the vibration of all the vehicles going over the interstate. Soup wet. Well, I want a foot long now. Not gonna lie, mildly making me want to have another meatball sandwich. It's always the cold cut or it's usually always the cold cut or the meatball with marinara sauce and cheese sprinkled on it. It's always good that way, either way. Always good. There we go, now I'm in the shade. My favorite is the tuna sub or the roast beef. Rip. I guess they got rid of the roast beef, didn't they? Yeah, I can't have everything, but they do have quite a lot, and there's some pretty unique things that you can do for those of you that watch Malad. Got this sign that I've showed off in previous streams, Freightliner, Sterling, Western Star. All three of those have locations down there on that side. I don't know if we'll cover them in that stream because that's not Warren Avenue, but I don't know. We might. We'll see. We'll see how I did go about it. Warren Avenue is weird because it's going to be one stream for the whole road, even though we did 2 for Central. But Central had a lot more to cover and a lot more distance. But then again, with the downtown area, seeing how long that took, we might have to split it into 2 streams. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know yet. But 17 foot for this bridge. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. 6 hours away from Malad Subway. Yeah, see, I'm hours and hours and hours. I'd love to go to Malad Subway, but I'm not that lucky. I'm not next to New Jersey where I can just go there. I'm all the way in Wyoming. I'd love to go there just for the fun of it. He still has the retro signs on his Subway. The older ones, not the new sign that just recently came out over the last couple of years. And you can see again where that construction is that I kind of showed and talked about earlier. Hey Tula, caught right on the end, but you caught it on the stream, so there you go. Well, the light changed for these guys to go, and I'm gonna go and call it because it's been an hour 15 now. So, once again, be doing a video on Sunday though, for sure. Gonna be 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time as usual, the normal time. You know the deal. And we'll be streaming again next week. I almost would say I'm streaming again this week, but I don't foresee it. I'm going to be going out to another city in Colorado, probably Thornton, or one of those areas somewhere around there. We'll see. And get some more videos for you guys, because I'm literally out of videos again. So see you guys soon, and peace out. There we go.